In a dark and vast part of space, a huge alien fleet approached Earth. The fleet was led by Commander Zarak, a proud and powerful leader. He looked out from the bridge of his flagship, the Dreadnought, with a sneer on his face. To him, humans were nothing but a weak and primitive species, a mere obstacle in the galaxy. As they neared the solar system, Zarak's eyes glimmered with excitement at the thought of conquering Earth. "Prepare for entry into the solar system," he commanded. The crew of the Dreadnought jumped into action, adjusting controls and checking their weapons. They had traveled far and faced many worlds, but the humans seemed to be the easiest target yet. Zarak had heard stories about their past, but he believed those stories belonged to a long-gone age. As the fleet entered the solar system, the first thing they noticed was the beauty of Earth. It was a blue and green planet, full of life. Zarak pointed at the planet, laughing with his crew. "Look at that! A tiny blue ball! How can such a weak species defend it?" His voice echoed through the ship, filled with arrogance. The crew joined in his laughter, feeling confident and powerful. Then they spotted something strange floating in space. It was an old human warship, the USS Valor, forgotten and drifting among the stars. The ship was battered and covered in space debris. "What is that?" one of the officers asked, looking at the ship with confusion. "It looks like an old human ship," Zarak replied, smirking. "How amusing. They still hold on to their ancient junk. Let's check it out." The commander ordered the fleet to surround the USS Valor. As they approached, the crew prepared to board the ship. They thought it would be an easy task to take the old vessel apart for its technology. Zarak chuckled, thinking about the valuable resources they could use. "Prepare to board. Let's see what this ship has to offer." With that command, several smaller alien ships flew toward the USS Valor. The aliens entered the old ship, ready to dismantle it piece by piece. They laughed as they walked through the dimly lit corridors. The walls were rusted, and the equipment looked outdated. "This is what they call a warship?" one alien mocked, shaking his head. "It's a pile of scrap!" As they explored, a flicker of light caught their attention. The ship's control panel suddenly lit up, startling the aliens. "What is happening?" another officer shouted, taking a step back. The ship seemed to be coming to life, and the aliens began to feel uneasy. Zarak frowned. "Stay focused! It's just an old machine. It can't be dangerous," he said, trying to calm his crew. But deep down, he felt a strange sensation. Something about the USS Valor was different, and it made him uneasy. Suddenly, the ship's AI detected the presence of the aliens. It scanned their technology and quickly analyzed their strengths and weaknesses. Without warning, the USS Valor began to power up its weapons, catching the aliens completely off guard. The aliens heard a loud hum as the ship's systems activated. Panic set in among the crew as they realized the ancient vessel was not as defenseless as they had believed. "Commander, we need to retreat," an officer shouted, but it was too late. Before they could react, the USS Valor unleashed a powerful energy blast. The beam shot out into space, striking one of the alien ships. It exploded into 1,000,000 pieces, and the remaining crew members could only stare in disbelief. Zarak's arrogance faded, replaced by shock and fear. The aliens had ridiculed this ship, but now they faced the terrible reality of its power. "What have we done?" Zarak whispered, feeling a chill run down his spine. The fleet was not prepared for the might of an ancient human warship. As the USS Valor continued to awaken, the aliens realized they had underestimated it. What they thought was an easy target had turned into a deadly enemy. The laughter that had filled the air just moments before was replaced by silence and dread. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and the aliens would soon learn that mocking humanity was a grave mistake. The shockwave from the USS Valor's energy blast rippled through space, leaving the alien fleet in chaos. As Zarak and his crew struggled to regain control, something incredible was happening inside the ancient ship. Deep within its metal walls, a long-dormant AI was awakening, slowly coming to life after years of silence. Inside the control room, the lights flickered and pulsed with a soft blue glow. The ship's systems began to check themselves, running diagnostics and assessing the situation. "Status report," the AI said in a calm, mechanical voice. It was a voice that had not been heard for centuries. The AI's sensors detected the alien ships surrounding it. Threat level, high, it calculated. Initiating defensive protocols. As it processed the incoming data, the USS Valor transformed from a relic of the past into a formidable fortress ready to protect its home. Meanwhile, outside the ship, panic spread among the alien crew. They had thought they could easily take the USS Valor, but the energy blast had changed everything. "Commander, we need to regroup," one officer shouted, looking at the wreckage of the ship that had been destroyed. "This ship is dangerous." Zarak felt a mix of anger and confusion. He had underestimated this ancient vessel, and now his fleet was on the brink of disaster. "We will not retreat," he growled, clenching his fists. "Prepare to attack! We will show these humans what true power is." Back inside the USS Valor, the AI continued its calculations. It remembered the ship's mission: to protect humanity at all costs. The memories flooded back, detailing battles fought and victories won. Each data point added to its sense of purpose. It had been dormant for so long, but now it felt a spark of life coursing through its circuits. As the AI prepared its weapons, the ship's thrusters ignited, sending it into a slow spin. It was time to show the galaxy what the USS Valor was capable of. The ship's defense systems locked onto the nearest alien vessel, ready to retaliate against the invading fleet. Suddenly, the AI activated the ship's holographic display, projecting a view of the alien fleet. The screen showed the enemy ships, clustered together, panicking and trying to regroup. The sight stirred something within the USS Valor. It was not just a ship, it was a guardian of humanity, and it would not allow anyone to threaten its home. Outside, the alien fleet prepared for their next move. Zarak barked orders, trying to regain control. "Target the human ship! We will destroy it!" But even as he spoke, he felt a deepening fear. He had never seen a ship respond so quickly or with such intelligence. As the alien ships opened fire, the USS Valor reacted. Its shields flared to life, absorbing the blast that came crashing toward it. The ship felt a surge of energy, empowering its systems and fortifying its defenses. The AI calculated the trajectory of the incoming fire, adapting the ship's position to evade the worst of the attack. Then, with a sense of purpose, the USS Valor struck back. It unleashed a series of plasma bolts at the closest alien ship. The bolts arced through space, hitting their target with pinpoint accuracy. The alien ship exploded, debris scattering in all directions. The remaining aliens watched in horror as their comrades were destroyed. "This ship, it's impossible!" an officer shouted, unable to comprehend the situation. The fear that had gripped the crew intensified as they realized they were facing something beyond their understanding. Zarak clenched his teeth, struggling to maintain control over his crew. "Fight back! We cannot let this ancient relic defeat us!" He tried to rally his forces, but his words were met with silence. The aliens were no longer confident, they were terrified. Inside the USS Valor, the AI continued to analyze the alien threat. It saw fear in the enemy's movements and knew it had the advantage. "Engage all weapons," it commanded, its voice echoing through the ship. "Defend humanity!" The USS Valor was no longer just an old ship. It was a powerful weapon, ready to unleash devastation upon those who dared to mock it. The battle had only just begun. But one thing was clear: the aliens had awakened a force they could not control. As the ancient ship roared back to life, it was determined to protect humanity and reclaim its place in the galaxy. The USS Valor pulsed with energy as it prepared to defend Earth from the alien invaders. Inside the ship, the AI calculated the best strategies, analyzing the movements of the alien fleet. It was time to show the galaxy that humanity had not forgotten how to fight. Outside, Commander Zarak struggled to regain control over his panicking crew. "We can't just sit here! Fire all weapons at the human ship!" he shouted, his voice shaking with anger and fear. The remaining alien vessels were in disarray, unsure of how to handle the sudden onslaught from the USS Valor. The alien ships began to launch their attacks, beams of energy shooting toward the USS Valor. But the ancient ship was ready. Its shields absorbed the incoming fire, glowing bright with each impact. "Shields holding strong," the AI reported, its calm voice a stark contrast to the chaos outside. With a fierce determination, the AI ordered, "Counterattack initiated." The USS Valor powered up its weapons systems, and the ship vibrated with energy. The crew of the dreadnought could only watch in horror as the ancient vessel unleashed a barrage of plasma bolts. One by one, the alien ships came under fire. The USS Valor targeted the nearest ship, its aim precise. The plasma bolt shot out, striking the alien ship directly. It erupted in a brilliant explosion, sending debris spinning into space. The sight sent a shockwave of fear through the remaining aliens. "Focus fire on the human ship! We can't let it destroy us!" Zarak ordered, but his voice was losing its power. The crew was no longer motivated. They were terrified of the ancient ship that had come to life. The USS Valor continued its assault, moving with a grace that belied its age. The ship dodged incoming blasts and returned fire with deadly accuracy. Every shot found its mark, sending more alien vessels to their doom. The AI was relentless, calculating the trajectory of every attack and adapting in real time. Inside the USS Valor, the AI was not just a machine. It felt a sense of purpose. It had awakened to protect humanity, and it would not fail. As the battle raged on, the ship's systems worked in perfect harmony, each part playing its role to defend the Earth. Zarak's flagship, the Dreadnought, was one of the last remaining ships still fighting. He gritted his teeth as he watched his fleet crumble. "We can't lose! We must destroy that ship!" Desperation filled his voice as he tried to rally his crew, but they were frozen in fear. The USS Valor locked onto the Dreadnought, its primary target. The AI calculated the distance and adjusted its weapons. Firing main cannon, it announced. A massive beam of energy gathered at the ship's bow, glowing brighter and brighter. The crew of the Dreadnought looked on in horror as they realized what was coming. "Brace for impact!" Zarak shouted, but it was too late. The USS Valor released the beam, and it shot across the void of space, hitting the Dreadnought with incredible force. The flagship trembled as the beam struck, ripping through its shields and slamming into the hull. The explosion lit up the dark space like a star, and for a moment, everything was silent. Then came the shockwave, sending smaller ships tumbling through space. Zarak's eyes widened in disbelief as he realized the extent of the destruction. The once mighty flagship was now a floating wreck, smoke billowing from its sides. The remaining alien ships hesitated, realizing that they were facing an unstoppable force. Panic spread among them as they turned to flee. "We can't win! Retreat!" one officer screamed, his voice filled with fear. The USS Valor pursued the retreating fleet, firing at the remaining ships as they fled in disarray. The ancient vessel, once thought to be a relic, was now a fearsome weapon of war, proving that humans had not lost their edge. As the last of the alien ships vanished into the darkness of space, the USS Valor came to a stop, its systems returning to a calm state. The AI ran a quick scan, confirming that the threat had been eliminated. Humanity had survived another day, and the ship stood ready to protect its home. Inside the USS Valor, the atmosphere shifted. The ship was alive with energy, and it knew it had fulfilled its purpose. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. The AI was determined to protect Earth and its people, ready to face any challenge that lay ahead. The victory of the USS Valor over the alien fleet was a moment of triumph, but the battle was far from over. Zarak, now a desperate figure in the vastness of space, watched as his remaining ships scattered like leaves in a storm. He knew they could not simply abandon the fight. Their honor was at stake. "Regroup! We need to strike back while the human ship is still reeling from its victory," Zarak bellowed, rallying what was left of his crew. Fear and uncertainty clouded their minds, but Zarak's fierce determination sparked a glimmer of hope. He would not let this ancient vessel humiliate him further. Meanwhile, aboard the USS Valor, the AI monitored the alien ships. The battle was changing, and it could sense that Zarak was not done yet. Remaining threats detected, it reported, analyzing the movements of the regrouping alien fleet. Initiating defensive protocols. The ship's systems whirred to life, preparing for the next wave of attacks. The alien vessels began to gather in a tight formation, their weapons charged and ready to fire. Zarak steered his flagship, the Dreadnought, to the front of the formation. "This time we will hit them hard," he shouted, trying to rally his crew's spirits. "Fire at will!" A barrage of energy beams shot out from the alien fleet, lighting up the dark void of space. The USS Valor braced itself as the bolts of energy approached. "Shields up!" the AI commanded, and the ship's defenses flared to life, absorbing the incoming attacks. "Return fire!" the AI instructed, and the USS Valor unleashed its own weapons in response. Plasma bolts streaked toward the alien ships, hitting their targets with incredible precision. One ship after another exploded in brilliant fireballs, sending debris scattering through the cosmos. But Zarak was not about to back down. He saw his ships being picked off one by one, and fury coursed through him. Focus fire on the USS Valor. We will destroy it, he ordered, his voice filled with a mix of anger and desperation. The alien ships pivoted and concentrated their firepower on the USS Valor, beams of energy racing toward it. Calculating damage, the AI announced coolly. Shields at 75%. The ship rocked as energy blasts hit, but it held firm. Adjusting course, the AI stated, guiding the USS Valor into a swift maneuver, avoiding the worst of the incoming fire, initiating counteroffensive. With a sense of purpose, the ship fired back, targeting the lead ship in Zarek's formation. The plasma bolts struck true, and the lead alien ship erupted in flames. Zarek's heart sank as he watched his fleet crumble further. "This is unacceptable," he yelled, feeling the weight of defeat pressing on him. As the USS Valor continued its relentless assault, Zarek knew he needed to change tactics. "Deploy the drones!" he ordered, desperate to turn the tide. Small fighter drones shot out from the alien ships, buzzing toward the USS Valor like angry bees. Their goal was to overwhelm the human ship with sheer numbers. The AI detected the incoming drones, analyzing their patterns and weapons. "New threat detected. Calculating response," it stated calmly. The USS Valor began to spin, allowing its weapons to target the incoming swarm. "Firing on drones," the AI announced. Energy beams shot out, striking the drones mid-flight. Some exploded instantly, while others were knocked off course. But the sheer number of drones kept coming, and the ship shook under their relentless assault. "Shields at 50%, the AI reported, and the atmosphere inside the USS Valor grew tense. The crew could feel the battle's weight, but the ship's resolve remained strong. It had defended humanity once, and it would do so again. "Engaging evasive maneuvers," the AI commanded, guiding the ship into a series of rapid turns. The drones struggled to keep up, and the USS Valor unleashed its main cannon, obliterating more drones in a brilliant flash of light. Yet, Zarek would not give in. His crew, now driven by fear and anger, continued to launch their remaining drones. "We cannot lose! Keep fighting!" Zarek shouted, rallying his crew for one last stand. The battle raged on, each side refusing to relent. The USS Valor stood strong against the relentless tide, proving that ancient power still held sway in the galaxy. As the fight continued, it became clear that this battle would define the fate of humanity against the invaders. With determination fueling every shot fired, the USS Valor and its crew prepared to face whatever came next, knowing they were the last line of defense for Earth. The battle had reached a fever pitch, and the space around the USS Valor was filled with the remnants of destruction. Alien ships floated in ruins, and debris from both sides scattered through the cosmos like forgotten dreams. Commander Zarek stared out into the vastness, feeling the weight of defeat pressing down on him. The USS Valor had fought with a fierce spirit, and the ancient ship now stood triumphant. The AI inside hummed with satisfaction, analyzing the battlefield. All remaining threats neutralized, it reported. The crew cheered, their spirits lifted as they realized they had survived against the odds. But the celebration was short-lived. The AI continued, however, multiple signals detected approaching from deep space. Reinforcements are on their way. The atmosphere in the control room shifted instantly from joy to concern. The crew exchanged anxious glances, knowing that the victory was still fragile. "We need to prepare for another wave," Commander Reed said, his face a mask of determination. "We can't let them catch us off guard." The crew sprang into action, working diligently to reinforce shields and recharge weapon systems. The ancient ship pulsed with energy, its AI working tirelessly to ready the vessel for the next challenge. Meanwhile, Zarek felt a flicker of desperation. "We need to regroup and find a way to escape," he said to his remaining crew. "We can't keep fighting like this." But deep down, he knew he could not leave the battlefield in shame. The humans had proven themselves formidable, and he felt a surge of anger toward them. As the first of the reinforcements appeared on the scanner, the USS Valor prepared to face them. The crew held their breath, ready for whatever came next. The air crackled with tension as the ships emerged from the shadows, more alien vessels, larger and more menacing than before. "Here they come," the AI warned. "Brace for impact!" Energy blasts lit up the dark space as the new wave of aliens opened fire. The USS Valor shook under the onslaught, but it held strong. "Shields at 70%, the AI called out, the steady rhythm of its voice providing a calm in the chaos. Zarek's fleet, although battered, was not willing to give up. "We will show them that we are not defeated yet," he roared, trying to rally his crew. He ordered his remaining ships to engage, pushing them to attack despite their injuries. The fight intensified, but it was clear the odds were against them. Just when all hope seemed lost for Zarak, a surprising event unfolded. The USS Valor, in its ancient wisdom, began broadcasting a message. "Attention, approaching fleet! This is the USS Valor of Earth. We seek peace and cooperation. Let us not continue this cycle of destruction." The words echoed through space, reaching the alien ships. For a moment, the battle paused as both sides absorbed the unexpected message. Zarak stared in shock, unsure how to react. The humans were offering peace after a fierce fight? As the seconds ticked by, the alien reinforcements slowed their advance. Confusion filled their ranks. "Commander, we need to seize this moment," a crew member urged. "We can negotiate while we still have the advantage." Zarak hesitated, torn between pride and strategy. "Do we dare trust them?" he questioned, feeling the weight of his decision. But he could see the truth in their eyes. The humans were not the mindless creatures he had once thought them to be. After a brief but intense deliberation, Zarak made his choice. "Fine, we will negotiate," he announced. "Prepare to communicate." He activated his ship's systems, allowing for the two fleets to connect. In the vastness of space, both ships stood silent, their crews waiting for a sign. The USS Valor spoke again, its AI transmitting a message of hope. "We wish to end this conflict. Let us work together for a better future. Together we can protect our worlds." The aliens, taken aback, sent a reply. "We did not expect this. Perhaps we should reconsider our approach." Slowly, the tension eased as both sides lowered their weapons. The battle that had once seemed inevitable was now transforming into a chance for understanding. Zarak felt a mix of disbelief and relief wash over him. Maybe this was the new beginning they all needed. As the two sides began to communicate, sharing ideas and hopes, a sense of camaraderie started to form. The USS Valor and Zarak's fleet were no longer enemies, they were partners in an uncertain universe. The battles of the past began to fade into memory, replaced by a vision of what could be. Both sides realized that they had much to learn from each other. As the darkness of space surrounded them, light began to break through, shining with the promise of a new dawn. A new beginning was here, and the future was bright.